Welcome! Today we'll be talking about the process, threats, and controls of ordering. Let's get started. The process begins when your inventory system notifies you that a certain item is below the reorder point. The system will then generate a purchase request and send it to the appropriate department. Once it's received, that department will fill out a purchase requisition specifying the vendor, date to be received by, along with the item and quantity. They will then send that to the purchasing agent, who will fill out the purchase order. After it's filled out, the order is sent, and the ordering process is complete. Now let's address the threats to this process. These include inaccurate inventory records, purchasing unnecessary items, purchasing at inflated prices, purchasing goods of inferior quality, having unreliable suppliers, purchasing from unauthorized suppliers, and kickbacks. Wow, now that's a lot of threats. But don't worry, we'll go over each one along with the controls to mitigate these threats. Let's say that you've run out of an item, but your system was never updated, so it doesn't inform you that there's a problem. You can address this threat by using barcodes or RFID tags that are scanned as items are used. And you can periodically count inventory and update the system. So you can use barcodes or RFID tags and do periodic physical counts of inventory. Now let's move to purchasing threats. These threats include purchasing items not needed, ordering at inflated prices, and ordering items of inferior quality. Now here are the controls for these threats. For items not needed, you can require the approval of purchase requisitions. For purchasing at inflated prices, you can use price lists along with competitive bidding. And for items of inferior quality, you can purchase only from approved suppliers, as well as hold purchasing managers responsible for rework and scrap costs. So we can review and approve purchase requisitions, use price list and competitive bidding, purchase from approved suppliers only, and hold purchase managers responsible for defects. Now for supplier threats. The two threats here are having unreliable suppliers and purchasing from unauthorized suppliers. To address the threat of having unreliable suppliers, we can require that suppliers have the proper certification, such as being ISO 9000 certified. To address unauthorized suppliers, you can configure your system to allow only orders from approved suppliers. So you can require suppliers to have quality certifications and configure your system to only permit approved suppliers. And finally, we'll talk about kickbacks. Let's say your purchasing agent makes a deal to buy from a bad supplier so he can get a kickback or bribe. You can address this threat by having your purchasing agent disclose any financial or personal interests in suppliers, such as holding stock in a supplier's company or being related to the supplier. You can also require job rotations or mandatory vacations to uncover any shady deals that might be happening. So you can have purchasing agents disclose any financial or personal interest in suppliers, and you can require job rotations and mandatory vacations. Well, that's it for ordering. Next, we'll talk about receiving. We'll see you next time.